Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Luna and I make Animal Crossing videos every single week. So if you're into decorating videos, maybe consider subscribing to join our little AC family. Last week we created our fairy forest entrance. If you want to see how that turned out, I'll leave a link to this video in the time cards on top. In today's video, we will be decorating one of our villager homes, which will be our baby Marshal. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. In the last video, we did stop here and I wanted to continue decorating this area. I think this area will be a great place to add a villager home, and I'm also going to be adding two bridges here. One will be connecting to the resident services to this area and the other will be for the opening of our river. I was thinking about creating a crescent moon pond here and then having the bridge connect to this part, but I'm thinking of adding it to a different part of my island. So then I thought to create some rivers to have it connect to one cliff and then have the other one connect to the bridge that I'm going to place by the opening of my river. I hate having those openings because I usually struggle with what I want to put there. Sometimes I just slap a bridge there and just call it a day, like I'm doing today. Also, I want to point out that when I was creating this, I accidentally put the emperor butterfly way too close. So you'll see me come back to this later because when I was trying to place the bridge later, I realized that I placed it way too close. I actually wasn't going to work on this area. I was going to save this area for later in the future. I was first trying to work on the resident services and the back of my resident services, but everything that I was creating was not working out. I wanted to create a sunken area in the back with two bridges on each side, but then I started to realize that I'm just wasting bridges doing that, so maybe I can just add one bridge instead of two. And then the sunken area part wasn't working out, so then I decided that maybe I can create a heart-shaped waterfall, but then I realized, how was I going to get up here? So then I started to map out a staircase, but when I was incorporating the staircase, it was looking a little bit weird, so I just gave up and left it alone. I do that a lot when I get frustrated. I'm just like, you know what, I'll come back to this later. That way I can come back with some fresh eyes and I can see exactly what I was doing wrong versus trying to figure out everything at the moment. So then I was like, you know what, I'm going to start working on this area that's next to the entrance, which is what I'm creating right now. I thought this would be a lot easier than trying to decorate the resident services, but I was also struggling with this build at first. I was struggling to map out the waterscaping. When it comes to a large area, you would think that it would be a lot easier to decorate, but for me it was a little overwhelming because I didn't know where to start or where to end. So I just started decorating little by little, and I started with the bridge, which is the easiest part, and then I was trying to figure out how I wanted the rivers to flow because I wanted them to connect somehow, and I wanted to add a little floating piece here because I was thinking of adding a wheat field here to make it look overgrown. You'll see what I mean when I'm decorating. By the way, I literally forgot to mention this, but in my last video I was asking you guys what shoes I should be wearing, and I got a suggestion to just be barefoot, and I literally didn't think to be barefoot because there's just so many cute shoes, but honestly I really love being barefoot. It feels so freeing and it really does fit with the theme. And I'm also going to change my hair color to pink and leave the green dress. I just need to get more nook miles to unlock the color palette for the hair, so most likely in the next video you'll see me in pink hair, which is such a throwback because my character back in 2020 and the first video of this channel I had pink hair, and then a few islands later I changed it back to my natural hair color, but I can't wait to go back to pink. We're almost done mapping out this build. After I finish this, I'm going to place the two bridges and the staircase down along with Marshal's home, and then we can get into the good stuff, which is decorating. I'm not sure what I'm going to put on top of these cliffs. I was thinking of adding another villager home on top of here, and then where my resident services is, I can add my shopping district. I kind of like having my shopping district close to my resident services so that when people come over to my island, it's easier to get to these things than having to go all the way to the other side of my island just to buy something. I also ended up fixing the staircase because when I went to go place it, I didn't like how it was looking, so I just moved it a little bit and now it looks a lot better. I also used the natural staircase. I felt like if I used the stone staircase, it was going to be a little bit too much in this build, and I wanted some different variations. Once I place Marshal's house down, I'm going to show you guys how the area looks, just so that it could be easier for you if you're trying to use this for your island. So here's how the first part looks. It looks so cool and I can't wait to decorate it. And here's how the second part looks with Marshal's yard. I'm going to start decorating. I've been playing around with some of the custom designs that I found, so I don't officially have a list of codes that I will be using for this island, but once I do, I will create a video listing all of the codes. But for now, any of the codes that you see in this video will be listed in the description below. For this area, I'm just going to fill it up mostly with custom designs and flowers. I wanted to add more trees, but then I started to realize that if I did that, it could block off the view of the resident services with the two Valiant statues, and I love the view of the Valiant statues from over here. Also, I mentioned in my last video my little mini story time with my ex-villager Frank. So he ended up leaving and I ended up getting the villager Buck. So I had Buck for like 3 hours up until I ended up finding an amiibo for Peanut when I was cleaning my desk. So I invited her to my island and replaced Buck for her. And I also found my Sanrio amiibos, and I forgot that Chelsea literally has all 3 colors that I'm looking for: white, pink, and green. So I'm going to invite her to my island, and now I can go villager hunting for a green villager this time. And I really want Scoot or Lyman. I will be having both on my island, but I just need one for now. I've also thought about Mint because she is a green villager. I'm going to keep her on the side for now. If I can't find any villagers, then I'll invite her to my island, but I want to experience different villagers, which is what I've been doing for each of my islands. Even if it's autofilled and then I end up kicking them out of my island, I still count them towards my experience. I have a question for you guys. Everyone always asks who is your favorite villager, but no one questions who is your least favorite villager, because my least favorite villager is Ricky. Ricky and I have ongoing beef since 2021. He spawned on my island twice, and then after that I haven't seen him again, and I don't want to. But let me know in the comments who is your least favorite villager. But yeah, for the space that's next to Marshal's house, I was thinking of adding a water fountain or a glowing moss pond, but when I placed it, I felt like it took up too much space and it sounded a lot better in my head, so I ended up not placing it there. And I was thinking of adding the small little stone path and adding the crescent moon chair with some nova lights, but when I added the chair, I felt like there was just too much going on, so I decided to just add a log bench, which you'll see me add later on, which ended up being a lot better than the crescent moon chair. And then I'm just going to fill up the rest of the space with some cute little custom designs. I'm still trying to figure out some cute flower and leaf designs. The ones that I found are either too dark or too light for this season, but the ones that I have in my little design app are currently my favorites and what I'm using for this island. I'm still on the hunt for a garden path that I can use when I'm placing my rock garden. I want one that has rocks on them and that is perfect for the spring season. So when I find it, I will let you guys know. But we are almost done with this build. I'm just finishing the little piece next to his house, and then to fully finish this area, I'm going to go back and add some mushrooms and Libra star fragments because they are my favorite shade of green. So here is how the first part of the build looks. I love how it turned out. All of the design codes come together so nicely. Oh, and Megan was trying to catch a butterfly and she couldn't. Her little face. And here's Marshal's yard. Absolutely obsessed with his yard. It turned out so beautiful, and I think I'm going to keep his house like that. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the build, let me know by hitting the like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, consider subscribing to join our little AC family. I love you all so much. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!